It hasn't been a great season for Spurs at all. Why am I using the word great? It hasn't been a good season for Spurs. It has not been a good season for Spurs. First, sacking their coach, Maurizio Pochettino, bringing in Mourinho. He started doing well and then bam, no wins in their last 6 games, including 2 losses against RB Leipzig. And no disrespect to Leipzig, but this is a team funded by Red Bull and formed in 2009 with a manager who's younger than I am, Julian Nagelsmann. It's ridiculous. What this team is doing is simply ridiculous. But I expect better from Tottenham Hotspur, who were last season's UEFA Champions League finalists. Tottenham was simply disappointing across the 2 legs. Like you telling me, you couldn't score a single goal. A single goal. Neither home nor away. Losing to Red Bull. Let me say Red Bull and not RB, not Rasenball Sport. Lawn Ball Sport. Leipzig. Red Bull Leipzig. You're telling me you cannot score a single goal against one of the most hated teams in Germany, formed in 2009. And I'm not saying all this to discredit RB Leipzig. It's just to say that Tottenham under Mourinho, who won the Champions League twice, who has been around with all these top teams for so many years, and you telling me you can't score a single goal across 2 legs. 180 minutes, no goals? Wow, that's shocking. That was a shocking performance. The first leg at home, they lost 1-0. Ben Davies committing an error there, bringing down Conrad Lima in the box. Penalty. Timo Werner, who has racked up over 25 goals already this season, to go with his numerous assists, he dispatched it 1-0. The road goal, the road win. Significant boost going into the home leg. And Tottenham, you are still in this tie. You were definitely still in, you weren't out this tie. And what you go and do? You lose 3-0. That was a calamitous performance. I saw the match, I was at work, but I took my time and I watched the game. It was horrible. It was a horrible performance. It was simply a shocking performance. For the first goal, Tottenham, you got to do better than that, man. You got to do better than that. The closing down of Marcel Sabitzer wasn't good enough. Lamela, you have to commit more. You got to commit more, allowing Sabitzer to shoot from way out. And Hugo Lloris, you have to do better than that. I bet if this was against Manchester City, that Tottenham, they would have came out like superheroes and won the game. Seriously. Because they picked up 2 very good results against City this season, a draw and a win with a clean sheet. They needed to do better defensively. They're already depleted in attack, in the midfield, and their defense is garbage. Seriously. Sabitzer with that shot from distance. Hugo Lloris, you have to do better than that. He got fingertips to it, wasn't strong enough in the back of the net. 1-0. The second goal, Aurier, got to do better than that. Let me drink some of my Red Bull. Haven't drank a Red Bull in ages. That's a good thing too. These things are not that good for you. Not that good. They're not good for you. I don't really need the energy like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me stamina daddy. But anyways. The second goal. Aurier heading that long ball. Not really timing his jump properly and kind of setting up Angelino back there, who is unknown for Manchester City, and his season has been saved with that loan move to RB Leipzig, because at City, Wasn't this player. Didn't have the confidence, didn't have the energy. He just seemed like he was down and he wasn't happy. Hence the reason for the loan move, and he has been magnificent at Leipzig. I think he hit the post in the first leg. He was brilliant in the first leg. And the second leg with that cross, Jaffe Tanganga, you have to do better than that. He was there waiting, sitting back to head the ball away, but Sabitzer again, more proactive, getting to the header first and beating Lloris at his near post. Like, Lloris, what are you doing? Lloris, you got to do better than that. Pushing it onto the post and back into the net. Lloris, you got to do better than that. It's simply poor for a so-called top-class goalkeeper who plays for the team that won the World Cup. Like, come on. I never rate Lloris. Never. I don't care what nobody say. I don't rate Hugo Lloris. As far as I'm concerned, Tottenham needs to get a new goalkeeper too. Because Lloris isn't it. Seriously. He ain't it. He ain't it. Definitely ain't it. The third goal was scored by substitute Emil Forsberg with his first touch of the game. That's how ridiculous it is. First touch of the game, bam bam, tap tap, 3-0. Spurs were tame on the night. They hardly tested the Leipzig goalkeeper Golaski on the night. And they needed a better performance. This was a poor performance by Tottenham Hotspur. I can't keep saying it, but it's just, it was poor. Tottenham are currently 8th in the Premier League after 29 matches with 11 wins, 8 draws and 10 losses. 41 points. This is a terrible season. Tottenham are having a terrible season. If they continue this way, they could end with under 60 points. Imagine that. Imagine Tottenham finishing with under 60 points. It's possible right now because 41 points, 9 matches to go, 9 by 3, 27. You could only get a total of 68 points right now. And the way things are going, it's not looking likely. It's not looking likely. It looked like they might not even get Europa League football with Sheffield United and Wolves on fire. Man United looking good. Chelsea, Leicester, they're not going to drop all those points at the end of the season. We don't know. But it seems as if Tottenham, under Mourinho, aren't going to qualify for European football next season if we do get football, if the coronavirus don't get too, more serious. Have to consider that too. But Tottenham has been horrible. They have been horrible this season. And I'm starting to think that Mourinho could get the sack. Seriously. I'm thinking that Tottenham could sack Mourinho. Daniel Levy and the board, they could decide to sack Mourinho. Seriously. We all have to start thinking about that. He could get the sack because they have been awful. I'm telling you, awful. Really, really awful. And these are the last 6 results for Tottenham Hotspur. And I've seen most of these games too. So, for Tottenham, 3-0 loss against RB Leipzig on the road. Another road match against Burnley, 1-1 draw. FA Cup 5th round at home versus Norwich City. Lost the penalty shootout 3-2. And that was a match when Eric Dyer ran up in the stands and shouted, "That's my brother," and all of that. I was supposed to make a video on that, but guys, I was busy. The team has just looked tame. Troy Parrott missing his penalty. Troy Parrott, I just want to say, seems like you ain't it, buddy. You ain't it. Mourinho hasn't been giving you the chances, but you did get your chance on the night. Came off the bench, didn't do anything, got the chance to take the PK and win the game for your team, didn't do anything. Troy Parrott, you ain't it. And I must say, Jedson Fernandez, you ain't it either. Seriously. I am not impressed with Jedson Fernandez. All he does is just run. Like, he reminds me of a Bandulu version of Matteo Guendouzi. Seriously. It's like a quasi Guendouzi. Jedson Fernandez. Just running up and down all over the place. To little to no effect. Seriously. That's just my thoughts. And congrats to Norwich there. Tim Krul with the water bottle trick, having the players' names written down on the water bottle. Good stuff, man. That's why you're in the Netherlands team right now. Good stuff. But Tottenham, they got knocked out of the FA Cup by Norwich like I predicted. And they lost 3-2 versus Wolves, lost 2-1 to Chelsea, lost 1-0 to Red Bull Leipzig. Before that, after the break, they did have a 3-2 win, barely scraped over the line versus Aston Villa. Before the break though, in 2020, Tottenham were good. They were really good because before the break, and I have to talk about this, before the break, 3-2 win over Southampton in the FA Cup replay. Very poor that they had to play a rematch against Southampton, but still they won the game. And remember, guys, these games, the replay, the FA Cup match that went to 120 minutes, and Tottenham has been stretched. The depleted team has been stretched. I'm telling you. Then before the break, as I was saying, a 2-1 win over Norwich. 0-0 draw to Watford, 2-1 win over Middlesbrough in a third round FA Cup replay. Like all these replays with the depleted squad, as I said, has hurt Tottenham. Lost to Liverpool 1-0, 1-1 draw against Middlesbrough, and a 1-0 loss against Southampton. They have been rather subpar. Seriously, they were playing good football after Mourinho was appointed. But then they went back to the old days when Pochettino were in charge early on in the season. Seriously, maybe they need to bring back Pochettino. I don't think he'll go back, but I think Mourinho is going to get the sack. Seriously, I think Mourinho is going to get the sack. Tottenham could come up with the excuses that Harry Kane is injured. Steven Bergwijn just picked up an injury. Son Heung-min injured. Musa Sissoko injured. Who else injured? They one Foyt injured, but just one Foyt. Christian Eriksen left. Danny Rose on loan. Ben Davies didn't feature. It's just like this team has... Kieran Trippier left last season. And Tottenham has not spent enough to replace these players adequately. The whole bust up with Tanguy Ndombele and Mourinho. Maybe something happened and Mourinho called out Ndombele in a press conference. I was also supposed to talk about that, but I was like, I was tired, man. Man's got to work and still do this. But he called out Tanguy Ndombele, basically said he's not ready yet. He's not ready yet. This ain't the French league. This is the Premier League. You can't come over here and thinking, you're going to act like a pretty boy and things are going to go your way. So basically, he's out of favor, but that's their most expensive signing ever. You have to play him. Mourinho, you can't be taking things personal here. Mourinho, he's going to get the sack. I'm going to call it right now. I know it's early and he might need a transfer window to work his magic, if he even has any more magic in him. But, he's going to get the sack eventually. If not...
Somebody has to realize that this is a Premier League.
At the end of the season, early next season. Remember, I told you so. But Tottenham haven't been good. Lucas Moura haven't been good enough. Had, little flashes of brilliance, but haven't been good enough. Dele Alli, I don't know what has gotten into him. He's not at his best. When Mourinho just came, bam, Dele Alli back again. His brother sacked. Dele Alli, the real Dele Alli, back. But it seems like he's back to his old ways. Lamela has looked good. Lo Celso, I think, has been their best player so far this season, in my opinion. Well, with the exception of Son Heung-min, it has to be Lo Celso. He's their breakout player of the season. Hence the reason why they made his loan deal permanent. But Aurier, good in patches, but overall just terrible, man. Terrible mistakes, time and time again, has cost the team. Tanganga, still raw. I think he needs another, season to get things going. Still very, very raw. You can't blame him. He was thrusted into this fire. Cannot blame him. Vertonghen, Alderweireld, these guys are up there in age. Vertonghen not really involved much this season. They have a left back problem. So Ryan Sessegnon, he's not it. Seriously, injuries has really messed up his career. He's definitely not it. He's not it. He needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of work. Ben Davies, I don't know, man. And their midfield, you talk about guys like Dyer and Winks. These guys are not ready yet, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like to rate Dyer and rate Winks, but these guys ain't ready yet. These guys ain't ready yet. Seriously. They ain't ready yet. That's just what I think. They aren't ready yet. So let's take a look at the lineup that featured in the second leg against Leipzig. Let's talk a bit about Leipzig as well. So I did touch on most of the players that featured against Leipzig, but one positive that Tottenham could take away from this Red Bull Leipzig loss is that a young defender, Malachi Walcott, was given an opportunity to play in the Champions League. Don't know if we're going to see him again next season or for the rest of the season, but it's a positive. But the spoils go to Red Bull Leipzig, RB Leipzig, and they fully deserve it. They have been flying high in the Bundesliga this season, currently third behind Dortmund and Bundesliga kings, of course, Bayern Munich. And they have been doing well for a team that formed in 2009, coming up from the lower leagues, all through the leagues, through the leagues, come up, and they don't really overspend too much, seeing that they're backed by Red Bull. And this is not a sponsored video by Red Bull. I'm giving them advertisement, but still, the team has been impressive. They have been impressive. I like the rise of Red Bull Leipzig. A lot of people might not like how they come up, but I like the football. I like the footballing aspect of it. I really like it. Seriously. I like what they're doing. And it would be nice if they could dethrone Bayern Munich, but it's going to be very difficult. I don't think we're going to see it this season. Definitely not this season. But this team has been amazing. And I didn't predict them to win the tie, but after what they did in the first leg, I turned around, I made a U-turn on my prediction, and I said that Red Bull Leipzig, RB Leipzig, I should say RB Leipzig, are going to win the tie, and they did. 4-0 on aggregate. Congratulations to Julian Nagelsmann, who is a very highly rated young manager, and who knows? We might see him at a Barcelona, Real Madrid, or even a Man City or one of these teams, PSG, one of these days. Who knows? Who knows where he'll end up? But the team played well. Patrick Schick on loan from Roma. He has been good in patches this season. Timo Werner has been one of their best players. He is their talisman. He has been amazing this season. Christopher Nkunku, man, had 4 assists in one game the other day against Schalke. He has been simply amazing. Angelino on loan from Man City has been phenomenal since January. Nordy McCulley, he's looking back. He's a right back. He can play all across the back line, and look out for a big money move for him during the summer. Believe me, he can. If he doesn't decide to stay, teams will be definitely looking at him. Conrad Laimer, man, this guy is a midfield maestro. Box to box, very tough, very tenacious, and he is one of their most important players who has featured in most of their matches this season. Marcel Sabitzer, man, the captain on the day. Oh my God. Oh man, I like this guy. Sabitzer. And who knows, guys, keep an eye on him. Maybe Bayern Munich would look to sign him. You never know. You know they like to take the best players from the Bundesliga. Who knows? A team like Chelsea could, Arsenal, Sabitzer. Who knows? Liverpool, maybe this is the midfielder that you need, the creative spot that you need in the midfield. And when you go to the back, you have Lucas Klostermann and Marcel Halstenberg, who has recently broken into the German national team. These guys are dynamic, they're fast, and they just damn good. They're just good. That's the best way I could put it. Not to forget the Frenchman, Diet Upamecano, very highly rated, highly sorted center back. He's big, he's strong, and I love the runs he made going forward in this game. He was just making a mockery out of Tottenham Hotspur. Gulaski, hardly anything to do on the day. He has been mammoth for Leipzig this season. Yusuf Poulsen as well has been good. Didn't feature in the game. Amadou Haidara came off the bench and he has looked good. Always admired the Malian international. Emil Forsberg coming off the bench to score. He is still an integral part of this team. Tyler Adams, the young American fullback, injured this season, but, a handful of appearances. He has to take his chances. There's also Ademola Lookman. He didn't feature. Very talented former Everton young Englishman. Dani Olmo, the former Dinamo Zagreb Spain international. He didn't even feature. Like, are you kidding me? So you don't use Lookman, you don't use Poulsen, you don't use Olmo, and you still beat Tottenham Hotspur? Man, I'm telling you, Leipzig did not even unlock all their features, and they still smash Spurs. So Leipzig on to the last 8, and they would be ready to face anybody. To be honest, they would be ready for any challenge because they're a team that could actually do something really, really great this season. Seriously. First time in the knockout stage, only the second time in the Champions League, and they on the way to the quarterfinal. This is Julian Nagelsmann's first season in charge of this team. Remember, he was in charge of Hoffenheim before. 2 teams that's not really loved in Germany. Like, that's ironic, right? And he is taking these guys to the quarterfinals to join Atalanta, Atletico Madrid, and PSG. So the 4 teams that has booked a spot in the last 8, Atalanta, Leipzig. 2 teams on a fairy tale run, the dark horses this season. PSG. And of course, can't forget, Atletico Madrid. So congratulations to RB Leipzig. It's actually a possibility that they can go on to win the Champions League. The last 8 out of 32, they are the last 8. Out of all the teams in Europe, they are in the top 8. It's ridiculous. What if Atalanta and Leipzig meet each other in the last 8? It means that one of these 2 teams definitely will be in the semis. Could be the Ajax of last season. Could be like Monaco a couple seasons ago. Could be like Roma a few seasons ago. It's always very, very, very exciting to see these underdog teams do well. And Leipzig on the rise. Their dreams are coming to fruition. Let me take a drink of this. And all their investments in the team finally paying off, finally paying dividends. Congratulations to Julian Nagelsmann and his boys. Spurs, you have been calamitous this season. Knocked out the Champions League, knocked out the FA Cup, knocked out the League Cup, and they're not even on course to get top 7. So, season has been a failure for Spurs. They need to dig deep in their pockets and they need to recruit better. They need to sign some good players, seriously. They need a revamp. They need a summer revamp. As for RB Leipzig, they would just be hoping to continue doing what they're doing, recruit well, continue doing good business. Timo Werner could be out the door, Sabitzer could be out the door, Emil Forsberg could be out the door, Upamecano, Nordi McCulley. But even if that happens, I think they would replace these players seamlessly. So, congrats, man. Congrats. I know it's a long video, and I know I went off, but guys, this is what the channel is all about. I want to sit down, and I want to get every single thing off my chest. So that's a wrap for the Leipzig-Tottenham tie. I just had to talk about it. I wouldn't feel good if I don't. I did talk about the Atalanta Valencia, so you could go check that out. Made a lot of video about Liverpool. Atleti still have to do a real post-match analysis on that, so we'll check that out in the future. And thank you very much for your support. So guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. If you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button, smash the thumbs up button. Take some time out your day to visit cardsblog.com/Dominic Rich FC. You have 80 plus life-size card designs to choose from over there. Head on over, visit the site. Don't take my word for it, just visit the site. If you decide to get something, use the coupon code dominicrichfc to get yourself 20% off your order. So, from your boy Dominic Rich, thanks for watching. Peace out. Rich Squad.